Hello and welcome to today's video, where we'll be delving into the fascinating story of the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, who are widely credited with inventing, building and flying the world's first successful motor-operated airplane. Their groundbreaking achievements at the dawn of the 20th century ushered in the age of powered flight and forever changed the course of human history. As we explore their journey, we'll uncover the ingenuity, perseverance and sheer determination that propelled these two bicycle mechanics from Dayton, Ohio, to the forefront of aviation history. Born in the late 1860s and early 1870s, Wilbur and Orville Wright grew up in a world where the idea of human flight was still largely confined to the realm of fantasy. Yet, from an early age, they displayed a keen interest in mechanical and scientific pursuits. This curiosity would ultimately lead them to tackle one of the most challenging engineering problems of their time, the conquest of the air. Their story is not just one of technical innovation, but also of the power of human imagination and the relentless pursuit of a dream. What's particularly intriguing about the Wright brothers is that they achieved their remarkable feat without the benefit of formal engineering education or substantial financial backing. Instead, they relied on their mechanical aptitude, keen observational skills, and a methodical approach to problem solving. This combination of practical know-how and scientific rigor would prove to be their greatest asset in the quest for powered flight. We dared to hope we had invented something that would bring lasting peace to the Earth, but we were wrong. No, I don't have any regrets about my part in the invention of the airplane, though no one could deplore more than I do the destruction it has caused. The Wright brothers' journey to powered flight was a gradual process, marked by years of careful experimentation and incremental progress. They began their aeronautical experiments in 1899, inspired by the gliding experiments of Otto Lilienthal in Germany. Lilienthal's tragic death in a gliding accident in 1896 had a profound impact on the brothers, spurring them to take up the challenge of controlled powered flight. What set the Wright brothers apart from their contemporaries was their focus on the problem of control. While other aviation pioneers were primarily concerned with generating sufficient lift and power, the Wrights recognized that the key to successful flight lay in the ability to maintain equilibrium and steer the aircraft effectively. This insight led them to develop their innovative three-axis control system, which remains the foundation of aircraft control to this day. The brothers' approach was methodical and scientific. They built a wind tunnel to test wing shapes and propeller designs, gathering valuable data that would inform their aircraft designs. This empirical approach allowed them to refine their theories and improve their designs incrementally. It's worth noting that their background in bicycle manufacturing proved invaluable, as it gave them a practical understanding of balance, control, and the importance of a strong, lightweight structure. The airplane stays up because it doesn't have the time to fall. After years of experimentation with kites and gliders, the Wright brothers were ready to attempt powered flight. They chose the windswept dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, as their testing ground, drawn by its steady winds and soft, sandy landing surface. On the 17th of December, 1903, they made their historic first flights. The weather that day was far from ideal, with freezing temperatures and winds gusting up to 27 miles per hour. The brothers took turns piloting their creation, the Wright Flyer, making 4 flights that day. The longest, piloted by Wilbur, covered 852 feet in 59 seconds. While these flights may seem brief by modern standards, they represented a monumental achievement, the first controlled, sustained flight of a powered, heavier-than-air aircraft. It's important to understand the significance of this moment. Many had attempted powered flight before, but the Wright brothers were the first to achieve sustained, controlled flight in a heavier-than-air machine. The success of that December day was the culmination of years of hard work and dedication. However, it was just the beginning of the Wright brothers' contributions to aviation. In the years that followed, they would continue to refine their designs, making longer flights and demonstrating their aircraft to a skeptical world. Their achievement at Kitty Hawk laid the foundation for the rapid development of aviation technology in the decades to come. Wilbur started the fourth and last flight at just about 12 o'clock. The first few hundred feet were up and down, as before, but by the time 300 FT had been covered, the machine was under much better control. The course for the next 400 or 500 feet had but little undulation. However, when out about 800 feet the machine began pitching again, and in one of its darts downward, struck the ground. Despite their groundbreaking achievement, the Wright brothers faced considerable skepticism from the scientific community and the general public. Many found it hard to believe that two bicycle mechanics from Ohio had succeeded where so many others had failed. The brothers' decision to avoid public demonstrations until they had secured patent protection for their invention only fueled this skepticism. It wasn't until 1908 that they began public demonstrations of their aircraft in earnest. Wilbur's demonstrations in France in 1908 were particularly significant. At a time when European aviators were struggling to stay aloft for more than a minute, Wilbur was making flights lasting over 2 hours, performing complex maneuvers that left spectators awestruck. These demonstrations silenced the doubters and established the Wright brothers as the undisputed pioneers of powered flight. It's fascinating to consider how quickly public opinion shifted once the brothers' achievements were undeniably demonstrated. Meanwhile, Orville was conducting demonstration flights for the US Army at Fort Myer, Virginia. These flights were crucial in securing the first military aircraft contract for the Wright brothers. However, they were not without incident. On the 17th of September, 1908, a propeller failure led to a crash that seriously injured Orville and killed his passenger, Lieutenant Thomas Selfridge, the first fatality in powered airplane flight. This tragic event underscored the dangers inherent in early aviation and the courage of those who pushed its boundaries. The only thing I'm afraid of is that I can't get well soon enough to finish those tests next year. The Wright brothers' invention of the airplane ushered in the age of powered flight and transformed the world in ways they could scarcely have imagined. Their achievement laid the foundation for the rapid development of aviation technology in the 20th century, leading to advances in transportation, warfare, and exploration that have profoundly shaped our modern world. However, the brothers' later years were not without controversy and personal challenges. One of the most significant challenges the Wright brothers faced in their later years was the series of patent battles that consumed much of their time and energy. While these legal battles were ultimately successful in defending their patent rights, they also had the effect of stifling innovation in the American aviation industry. Some historians argue that this legal wrangling contributed to the United States falling behind European nations in aviation development in the years leading up to World War I. It's a complex legacy that highlights the sometimes conflicting demands of protecting intellectual property and fostering innovation. Wilbur's untimely death from typhoid fever in 1912 at the age of 45 was a profound loss, not only to his family but to the field of aviation. Orville continued their work, but sold the Wright Company in 1915. He lived to see aviation progress far beyond what he and his brother had first achieved, witnessing the advent of supersonic flight before his death in 1948. The Wright brothers' legacy continues to inspire innovators and aviators to this day, reminding us of the power of human ingenuity and perseverance in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. I feel about the airplane much the same as I do in regard to fire. That is, I regret all the terrible damage caused by fire, but I think it is good for the human race that someone discovered how to start fires, and that we have learned how to put fire to thousands of important uses. As we reflect on the remarkable achievements of the Wright brothers, it's clear that their impact extends far beyond the realm of aviation. Their story is a testament to the power of curiosity, perseverance, and methodical problem-solving. From their humble beginnings in a bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio, to their place in the pantheon of history's greatest inventors, the Wright brothers exemplify the spirit of innovation that has driven human progress throughout the ages. It's worth noting that while the Wright brothers are rightly celebrated as the inventors of the first successful airplane, they built upon the work of many who came before them. Their genius lay not in inventing every component of their flying machine from scratch, but in synthesizing existing knowledge, conducting rigorous experiments, and solving the crucial problem of three-axis control. This highlights an important truth about innovation. It's often the result of incremental improvements and novel combinations of existing ideas, rather than a single eureka moment. The legacy of the Wright brothers continues to inspire new generations of innovators and explorers. From the development of commercial aviation that has shrunk our world, to the space programs that have expanded our horizons beyond Earth, to the recent achievement of powered flight on Mars with the Ingenuity helicopter, the spirit of the Wright brothers lives on. As we face the challenges of the 21st century, from climate change to interplanetary exploration, we would do well to remember the lessons of persistence, creativity, and careful experimentation that the Wright brothers embodied. A short life, full of consequences, an unfailing intellect, imperturbable temper, great self-reliance, and as great modesty, seeing the right clearly, pursuing it steadfastly, he lived and died. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the extraordinary story of the Wright brothers. Their achievements remind us of the remarkable potential of human ingenuity and the profound impact that individuals can have on the course of history. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your support truly makes a difference and helps shape the content of future episodes. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and your mind open to the possibilities that await discovery.